Have you ever tried to explain yourself again and again, only to realize the other person never truly wanted to understand? You spoke with honesty. You repeated your words carefully. You opened your heart. Yet all they heard was what they had already decided to believe. This is the story of a man who discovered something powerful, that sometimes silence speaks the truth better than 1,000 explanations. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green hills and a slow-moving river, there lived a man named Thomas Gray. Thomas was a lantern maker, a humble craftsman whose lamps glowed softly in the dark streets of the village. His hands were steady, his heart was gentle, and his work was honest. Every lantern he made carried warmth, patience, and care. People admired the beauty of his work, but not everyone respected him. Across the street lived Mr. Clark, the village tax collector. He was proud, sharp-tongued, and always suspicious. For reasons no one truly understood, he often accused Thomas of cheating customers. "Your light isn't worth the price you ask," he would shout in the marketplace. Thomas would calmly explain. He spoke about the cost of fine glass, the pure oil, the long hours spent shaping every detail. He tried to reason. He tried to clarify. He tried to defend his name. But Mr. Clark never listened, and slowly whispers began to spread. "Thomas is greedy," someone murmured. "He hides extra coins in his workshop," another added. The more Thomas Nas explained, the more twisted the stories became. It was as if his words only fed the rumors. At night, sitting beside the small fire in his workshop, Thomas would stare at the lanterns flickering against the walls. "Why can't they see the truth?" he would whisper to himself. "Why must I keep explaining who I am?" His heart grew heavy not because he was guilty, but because he was tired. One morning, the village square buzzed with excitement. A traveling monk had arrived, passing through the hills. People gathered around him, asking for blessings and advice. Thomas waited patiently until the crowd thinned. Then he stepped forward. "Sir," he said softly, "I try to live honestly. I never cheat anyone. But no matter how much I explain myself, people twist my words. What should I do to make them understand?" The monk looked at him for a long moment and then asked gently, "If a man decides the sky is green, what color is the sky to him?" Thomas frowned. He would still believe it is green dawned. "And would your explanations change his eyes?" the monk asked. Thomas lowered his gaze. "No, I suppose they wouldn't." The monk placed a calm hand on his shoulder. "Then stop explaining colors to those who refuse to see. Let your work be your answer. Silence is not weakness, my son. It is strength wrapped in peace. Not every battle deserves your voice." And with that, the monk walked away. But something inside Thomas had shifted. It felt as though a long burning fire of frustration had finally Nas, been put out. From that day on, Thomas changed. He stopped defending himself. When people accused him, he simply smiled. When Mr. Clark mocked him in public, Thomas bowed politely and said nothing. At first, the silence made things worse. "See," Clark would shout, "he has no defense left." Some villagers assumed his quietness meant guilt, but Thomas did not argue. Instead, he worked. He polished each lantern with greater care than ever before. He tested every wick twice. Each evening, he placed one lantern outside his shop, letting it burn through the night. And that single lantern began to speak louder than any explanation ever could. Its flame was steady. Its glow was warm. It lasted longer than any other light in the village. Travelers passing through began to notice. "That lantern makes the road feel safer," they said. "It feels peaceful." Soon, people from nearby towns came to buy Thomas's lamps not because of what he said, but because of what his work proved. His silence gave his actions room to shine. One evening, something unexpected happened. Mr. Clark himself walked into Thomas's shop. He placed 3 coins on the table. His voice was stiff. "I need a lantern for my porch." Thomas simply nodded. He handed him one of his finest pieces and said gently, "It will serve you well. No anger, no reminder of past insults, no hidden pride, just peace." Days later, villagers noticed Mr. Clark standing outside his house at dusk, staring at the soft glow of Thomas's lantern. Thus, he said nothing, but something in his expression had changed. For the first time, he saw what words had failed to show him. Truth does not need to shout. Light does not argue with darkness, it simply shines. Weeks passed. Thomas's shop glowed brighter than ever before. He still spoke kindly to everyone, but he no longer wasted energy trying to correct every misunderstanding. If someone doubted him, he let them. If someone misunderstood him, he remained calm. If someone judged him, he kept working. He learned something deeper. Peace is more valuable than being right. One night, as Thomas placed his lantern outside the door, a young boy approached him. "Mr. Thomas," the boy asked, "why do your lights shine so beautifully?" Thomas looked at the steady flame and smiled. "Because I no longer waste my fire trying to light the darkness inside others. I keep my fire where it belongs." The boy nodded, though he only half understood. But the lantern flickered warmly under the night sky, and that was explanation enough. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. When people are trapped in their own assumptions, your explanations will not set them free. When someone has already decided who you are, your words cannot rewrite their thoughts. You do not have to defend your truth to those who never intended to accept it. You do not have to explain your heart to those who never cared to listen. Peace is not found in being understood by everyone. Peace is found in us. Understanding that you no longer need to be. When you stop chasing validation, something beautiful happens. You feel lighter. You breathe easier. You live freer. Your energy returns to you. And in that quiet space, without arguments, without endless explanations, your life begins to glow. Just like Thomas's lantern. Stay kind, stay calm, and most importantly, protect your inner light.